Welcome to this CAMS training module. To get the best viewing results, please click on the full screen mode. In this training module, we're going to show you how to add a bureau into CAMS. Start by clicking on the CAMS administrator icon. Enter your admin login details. So to get started, let's click on Edit and then Bureau Setup, which will launch the Bureau Setup menu. We'll add a bureau by clicking the Add icon. We're now presented with a blank bureau form. The next available bureau ID is automatically added. In this case, it's number 8, and now you can enter the bureau name and relevant contact details. The contact numbers are the numbers used by the operator for contacting key individuals within the bureau. In the comments field, you would add general practical information specific to the bureau. So for example, the bureau may have a specific password that they may need to provide the operator for verification, or specific times that the operator shouldn't contact the bureau, and so on. If the control room is utilizing multiple receivers, the operator can allocate a receiver number for this bureau and then allocate a block of client numbers to that receiver. So let's say we want to allocate the 8000 range for bureau ID 8. You could allocate 8000 to 8999. Please note that for housekeeping purposes, CAMS does not allow you to enter overlapping client numbers on each receiver. With this in mind, it's a good idea to keep a running spreadsheet or something that allows you to accurately keep track of the receiver and client numbers allocated to each bureau. Dial a telephone number. Here you'll add the bureau's allocated 13 number. That's the number that the bureau will program into their alarm panels for reporting to your control room. And entering this number is for record-keeping purposes only. In the dialer terminating number field, you would enter the phone number that the 1345 uses to come back into your control room's alarm receivers. Again, these numbers are stored here for convenience, for future reference in case you need to access this information. If the bureau wants to receive SMS alerts when their customers' alarms are triggered, you would check the Enable Auto Alerts box. Once the details page is completed, double check the details are correct, then click on Save. Let's now go into the Contacts tab. This is where you would add the bureau contact details such as the owners and the staff, on-call technicians, and so on. These are the people that the operators will need to contact. As you can see, this page is almost identical to the Contacts page in the Assets section, which we covered in a previous tutorial. Click Add to add a contact. You'll notice that if you enter a name or telephone number that's already been entered into CAMS, it appears on the CAMS global list. So for example, if the bureau contact's mobile number starts with 0404, then the corresponding phone numbers that start with 0404 will appear in the global list. This would work the same way if we enter the first or last name of the contact. In other words, if the contact has already been entered into CAMS, it will be displayed in the global list. This prevents unnecessary duplication of contacts. So let's say Peter is the contact I wish to add. Then I'll double click that contact from the global list and he is automatically entered as a contact. If we want to add a new contact, let's say his first name is Toby, but he doesn't appear in the global list, then obviously you would enter him in as a brand new contact. Once you've entered all the contact details in that you feel are relevant, click Create. Just as a side note, you can access the global contacts list at any time by clicking on Edit, then Contacts. So let's look for our most recent contact addition. He's not there because we need to change the search filter from last name to first name. And there's our contact Toby. So from within the global contacts list, you can search, add, edit, and delete contacts quickly. You can add as many contacts as you want for each bureau. From within the list, you can then move them up or down, and your priority contacts should always be listed at the top. So for example, if Toby is to be the first contact for the operator to call, then you would move him to the top of the list. Let's say Toby wants to receive instant SMS notifications when certain alarms trigger at any one of his customer sites. To set that up, you first need to select the contact and then enable SMS auto alerts. Let's say we know Toby only wants to receive SMS alerts on high priority alarms, so we'll only select high priority alarms from the SMS alert filter drop-down. Then click Select Event Types. And now apply the high priority events. Click Apply, and as you can see, here the alarm filters selected are displayed. So these are the alarm events which Toby will receive SMS notifications on. In the relationship drop-down, you can select the relationship type Toby has within the organization. You can select from one of the defaults or enter a new relationship. So I'll enter Area Manager and I'll save that. CAMS also allows you to set up scheduling as to when each contact is available to be contacted. To set up a customized schedule for this bureau, simply check the Use Bureau Specific Contact Settings function. So this means that any schedule, alarms, and so on that you set up here will only apply to this contact for this bureau. Let's click Edit Schedule, and here we can highlight which days and times Toby is available to be contacted. So in this case, we have set the schedule so that the operators will not contact Toby on Mondays between 5 p.m. and 9 p.m, and the same for Wednesday. And then Apply. So the times highlighted in red indicates when Toby is not available, and during those times, the operator would then contact Peter. When the operators click on the contacts list for this bureau during those times, Peter's contact name will always appear at the top of the list. We can also add in holidays for each contact using the Not Available From function. Toby's going to be away from the 21st of November and is returning on Sunday the 4th. Click OK to apply that. And now in CAMS clients, Tony's contact details will be grayed out during that time, and his name will appear at the bottom of the list so that the operator knows he's not available and to contact Peter. If you don't select this box, then the schedules and events setup become a global setting that can be applied for all the bureaus this specific contact is linked with. Once you've finished entering all the relevant details into the Contacts tab, click Save. RG charges. This is related to Remote Guard charges. Remote Guard is a feature that allows the control room direct access to cameras at the asset site and perform video monitoring and virtual patrolling based on alarm events or scheduling, allowing the control room operators to have remote visual verification to the site. Remote Guard is an excellent way for control rooms to generate additional revenue streams because it enables you to bill the video monitoring service in a very granular way specific to the requirements of the bureau and the asset. If you want to know more about the Remote Guard module, contact Suretek on 1300 65 4433. So you can enter the specific Remote Guard rates here at the bureau level by client types and set up the parameters for how you want to charge by time, date, virtual patrolling, and or virtual escort. Or you can set this up within the assets section of CAMS. Our CAMS trainers do recommend that you set up the Remote Guard charges at the asset level, and we'll cover this in more detail in a future Remote Guard training module. So we'll leave this section for now and move on to reports. Here is where you can set up what types of automated reports the Bureau will receive via email on a daily, weekly or monthly basis. This gives them an overview to all sorts of relevant data such as faults, patrols, alarm history and so on. Let's quickly set up a report by clicking on Add. And we'll enable the report. If the Bureau has sub-bureaus, and you want the sub-bureaus included in the report, then select Include Sub-Bureaus. Destination is where the report will be sent. As we've already added an email address for this bureau, then the destination email is selected by default. You can also add additional emails by tapping the semicolon key and then hitting space, and then adding the additional address, and repeat that process for other emails that you want to send the report to. You can select what file type you want the report to be sent in, and as you can see, you've got 6 standard file options that can be easily opened up on any type of computer, Windows or Apple. Here you would select whether or not you want your control room's company header to be included in the report, or whether you simply want to add the control room or bureau's address. Report types. CAMS offers a granular array of reports to choose from. For this tutorial, I'll start by selecting Brief Event History, because this is something you will probably need to send out on a regular basis. And you can see it tells us the report includes the operator's comments. Select how often this report will be sent, and also the specific time it's going to be sent. You can preview the reports you've set up, and you can do this by clicking on Preview, and you can select how far back you wish to preview the report. Under Event Types, you can specify which events the bureaus will want included in the report. To include them, you simply select the ones you want included. So in some cases, they may only want to receive these specific alarm events. Otherwise, if you want all of them included in the report, simply select all. You can also filter out the events by priority level. So you can include, say, priority 1, 2, and 3 alarm events, which are classified by CAMS as high priority alarm events, or you can select all. And I'll show you where you can go to reference the alarm priority levels in a moment. Once you've finished entering the parameters, click OK to save that report schedule. So your first automated report for that bureau has now been added into CAMS. Okay, so the priority levels are listed under the Setup dropdown in Event Types. And as you can see, each alarm event has a corresponding priority level. As I click on each one, the priority level changes. That's just to give you an idea of how CAMS classifies the priority levels. So priority level 1 is classified in CAMS as a higher priority event than level 7. So we've created a history event report. Now we'll create a service request report and repeat the steps. Enable the report, add sub-bureaus if needed, and select the service request form. This report will include customer alarm faults logged by CAMS and faults manually logged by the operator, which could include faulty sensors or other faults related to the alarm system. Something which would, for example, require a technician to attend the premises to fix the problem. So this is another report that's quite important for the bureaus and something most, if not all of them, will want to receive. I'll set this up to be sent daily and make the send time early in the morning. We'll leave the filtering for event types and priorities to all, so the bureau receives a full report on all faults logged. Once you've finished, click OK, and our second automated report has now been added to CAMS. Another report you probably will need to add is an accounting report, which will be set up for your own reference. This will give the control room a detailed overview of what you're billing the bureau for. So you would repeat the process, but this time you would enter your internal email address, select Asset Monthly Bill, and usually this is sent on a monthly basis to your control room account department, and select a send time. So these are the three main reports you would set up every time that you add a new bureau to CAMS. Let's take a look now at billing rates. To set up the billing rates, you need to assign rates to each client type. Client types are located here, and this is where you add, edit, or remove the client types. For more information about this topic, please refer to the Adding Client Types tutorial. To set the monthly billing rate, double-click on a client type and enter a rate, and you would repeat the process for each one relevant to the bureau. So in other words, the rates you're entering here will only apply to this particular bureau. You have two save options. If you click this button, Restore Billing Rates for All Assets, this will update all the bureau's customers with all the billing rates listed. If you click this button, it will update the billing rate to all the bureau's assets, but only for the client type you've selected from the list, which in this case is commercial alarms only. Let's say we've already added the rates and we've now come back into CAMS and we want to change the billing rates for a particular bureau. Let's say you want to up the rate for commercial alarms only to $16 a month, and we only want to apply the update for commercial alarms. So I'll click this option. Okay, so now CAMS is telling me that I need to save before proceeding. So as a side note, if you're prompted to save within CAMS and there's no visible save icon on the page, it means you need to go into the Details tab and click Save. So back in billing rates, we'll click the button and now click Yes to confirm that this new rate will be applied to all of this bureau's assets for this particular client type. Let's now go to the References tab. Here is where you can add documentation in standard formats such as PDF or Word to the bureau's account. These could be the bureau's account applications with your control room or contracts or any other important documentation. To add a document, simply right-click on the white space and select Add, and then Add Bureau Document. Select the document you want to add, and you can preview the document simply by double-clicking on it. So I'll just close that down. Response plans. These allow you to assign instructions for each event type listed in the yellow box. These are instructions that will be applied to the bureau's entire asset list. This saves you having to enter them individually into each asset. So let's do one now. Let's do one for AC fail. So if there's a power fail signal received by the control room operator, the instruction could be that during business hours to call the bureau, but after business hours, the control room operator is required to raise a service work order. As you add instructions, you might want to use the copy and paste function for each event type to save time. Down the bottom of the page, you have the option of adding specific instructions. For example, must phone site or contacts before finalizing events for this event type. This is often used for high priority alarms such as duress or hold up. This means the control room operator cannot clear the event until they make a phone call to the site or the bureau. The call is done via an automated phone call using the auto dial button from within CAMS so that it's logged for reporting purposes. CAMS Link. CAMS Link allows the control room to give bureaus remote access to their CAMS account via the CAMS Link portal and enables the bureaus to update their business and customer information within CAMS, such as assets and bureau contact details, alarm event instructions, and so on. The portal empowers the bureaus to keep things up to date and saves the control room in time from having to constantly enter all of the information. So to set up a CAMS Link portal account for the bureau, click Add, enter a contact email address, assign a username, and access expiry date. The expiry date is available so you as the control room can offer portal access on a subscription service if that's what you want to do. You can also add privileges for each user, so this allows them to add information into CAMS, edit information, or delete information. You can also suspend the user from accessing the portal, and you can enter a reason for the suspension. Once you apply the user, a confirmation email will be sent to the contact's email address, and by clicking on that, the user can access the CAMS Link portal and set up a password. SMS Template. If you're going to be using the SMS module within CAMS, then from within this area of CAMS, you can build customized SMS template responses based on event types that CAMS can message to the asset contacts. This is a time and cost-saving feature within CAMS that dramatically reduces operator call time and costs. You can also have the option to set up a global SMS template, which you can access from the Setup drop-down and select Default SMS Template. This can be used for all SMS alarm notification responses across all assets and bureaus from the control room. However, if a particular bureau wants to use a different format for SMS messaging, then these can be set up here in SMS Templates. So we'll quickly build an SMS template to show you how easy it is to set up. We'll start with a manual SMS, which is not automatically sent. A manual SMS would be manually sent by the control room operator for specific alarm events. And all you have to do is double click on each of the fields that you wish to add to the SMS message, and these are displayed in the fields below. You can also add any additional comments into the body of the text that may be relevant. The Auto Alert No Reply template means the SMS will be automatically sent on an alarm event, but if the customer replies, the operator won't see it. Auto Request with Reply means the operator will see the SMS replies and the operator can engage in a two-way conversation with the customer. Auto Alert Bureau is for SMSing the bureau. So if we quickly go over to the Contacts tab here, you can see alarm events that will be sent to this bureau that we specified earlier, being duress, emergency, fire, hold up, medical, and panic. So in this instance, any Auto Alert SMS sent to this bureau will be based on those specific alarm events. Once you've set up one template, you can copy and paste the same template across. This, of course, will speed up the process. So all you need to do is select the text, then right-click, copy, and then paste the information across. And you can tidy up the text by adding spaces and cleaning up the grammar to make it look more professional. When you've finished adding new bureau information or updating information into CAMS, it's always a good idea to click on the Details tab and save your entries. And that's it. That's how easy it is to add bureaus into CAMS.